on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Good evening, college basketball fans. It's Friday night Mountain West action here in Boise. Boise State taking on San Jose State here in about an hour. My name is BJ Rains. This is the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. We appreciate you for joining us. And as always, helping us kick off the show here on the pregame show is the one and only Abe Jackson, former sharpshooter, scoring legend here at Boise State, and him and Bob Beeler will be on the call in about 25 minutes over on 670 KBOI, so make sure you listen to Bob and Abe tonight. But right now you can hear Abe on Bronco Nation News. He does every postgame show. Abe, appreciate you for joining us. We got you pregame. We couldn't get you postgame in Vegas. I was kind of jealous, actually. You guys landed when I was still in my Uber driving back to the hotel after doing my full postgame show and then writing my full story. It was a late night, but that was a nice win against UNLV, and now they'll try to make it 4 in a row here tonight.
Yeah, well, 3 games in a row, and this was kind of the stretch that you looked at in the schedule to say, okay, if the Broncos need to make a run, this is where it's going to be. And not only have they made the run, but they've pretty much covered the spread every single time in the Ken Palm numbers with Nevada and then Fresno and then at UNLV. So we've seen a lot of times in the past, and I know there have been comments in the past that, you know, maybe it was a closer game than expected against a team that you were supposed to blow out. But these last 3 games, I mean, the numbers were there, and the Broncos surpassed them with what they beat the teams by. So they're playing very well right now, and I expect another nice game from them here this evening.
Believe it or not, Abe, I actually took some notes for this game. I got notes for the pregame show here. Boise State, the defense, we've talked about it has been much better of late. I mean, you look at some of the shooting percentages in those 3 losses. You know, Utah State shot 61%, New Mexico shot 54%, even Colorado State shot 46%. In the 3-game winning streak, Nevada, 40%, Fresno, 38%, and UNLV, 37.9%. So, and the three-point percentages are even lower, 33, 23.5, 6% for UNLV. So, I know some of it is the opposing team missing shots, but they're making them take tougher shots. The defense we knew needed to improve, and at least the last 3 games it has.
Yeah, it did. And after that Colorado State game, I mean, you heard it from the coaches, you heard it from the team that something had to change. And Coach Rice switched up the starting lineup. He switched up who's getting the majority of the minutes. A couple guys aren't really getting any minutes, and it was mostly on the defensive side. And so we saw that publicly, but I'm sure behind closed doors, there were conversations. There was multiple film breakdowns, in practice, they probably just drilled in their defensive schemes over and over again and let the guys know, like, this is what's going to win us games. We can't win games and outscore somebody if we give up 60% shooting in there. So it's got to be defense. And ever since that Colorado State game, then when they tipped off here in Nevada, that defense has been great. And the rebounding, Boise State's not built to win a game, as most teams aren't, when you either lose the rebounding battle or just don't win it, by a big margin. And they were 0 in the rebounding margin against New Mexico, only +1 against Colorado State. You look at the last 2 games, +9 against Fresno, +11 against UNLV. They're the number 3 ranked defensive team in the country at Ken Palm. Like, they're built on not giving up offensive rebounds, getting defensive rebounds, controlling the glass. And the last 2 games, they've certainly done that. Well, those low shooting percentages speak directly to your defensive rebounding. You have a good defensive possession, and if you give up an offensive board, that defensive possession really doesn't do anything. And so to finish off a great defensive possession, you have to defensive rebound, and they're doing that. If you're a solid defensive rebounding team, it's going to be tough for a team to shoot a good percentage because a lot of times offensive rebounds and putbacks get your percentage up higher. Boise State's plus 8.1 on the glass. That's by far the best in the conference. So, I mean, they rebound the ball, and they certainly are going to have to do that again tonight. And that three-point line that we talked about, their three-point defense has been much better. San Jose is one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country, and they're going to let it fly tonight. Yeah, they're the best three-point shooting team in the conference, 39% as a team, and they make the most a game, too, in conference. So you're going to need a performance like against UNLV. Now, you can take a look at the rebounding and the defense of San Jose, and it is pretty poor. But if they get hot, it could be a long night. And you just ask San Diego State. Josh Aduje, I think, went off for 16 of the first 18 points against San Diego State in Viejas Arena, and they had a 22-point lead, I think, at one point against San Diego State, and the Aztecs did come back and win. But that just proves that this San Jose State team, they have the ability to get hot. They got some really streaky shooters. Well, they beat New Mexico, the only team in conference that's done that, and they, were beating Boise State and had a chance to win that game. They had a wide open layup to try to tie the game at the end of that game. That was kind of a fluky play on the missed free throw. But, I mean, Boise, I know it's a little different when there's no crowd. You're in San Jose. I get it. The games are usually closer there. But Boise State saw firsthand this team's good enough to beat them. And we've done it on your show, BJ. You play the what-if game. What if Boston College? What if this? San Jose State could play that too. What if against Boise State? What if at San Diego State? I mean, then they beat New Mexico. That would be 3 solid wins, but they only get one of those wins. So I think the San Jose State team is much better than they have been in the past. Do I think they're going to give Boise State a run today? No. But that being said, they got streaky shooters, and they're good three-point shooting team. See, I hope I'm wrong, but I think this could be a little closer maybe than I'm not to say they lose, but this is Boise State's 4th game in the past 10 days. They're probably getting tomorrow off. They're probably getting Sunday off for the Super Bowl. These guys got their eyes on 6th Street tonight downtown after the game. I mean, I don't know. I just, this game to me, and I joke about that, but I mean, in all reality, Abe, it's been a tough stretch for them. They have the bye coming up. This is the end of a long grind here. You're supposed to win this game. Maybe they go out and win by 25, and it's a really nice win. But I could see San Jose State, like I said, man, they started, 0-5 in conference play, and I think they're 5-2 since, so they're getting better and playing better too. I think Boise State wins, but it wouldn't surprise me if we look up at halftime and this is a 4 or 5 point game. I'd be fine with a 4 or 5 point game at halftime. I want to see what the final score would be at the end of the game. The Broncos have done that quite a bit, where it's a close halftime game and then they kind of blow them out in the second half. But I just like the way this Bronco team's playing. They've been beating the teams that they should beat, and they've been beating them handily in these last 3 games, and I think that's going to happen here. I think the Broncos are playing well. I think their confidence is back after that tough stretch with New Mexico and Utah State and Colorado State. I think the roles are getting more defined, so guys know what's expected of them in certain situations in the game. So I like where the Broncos are playing, and I think it's a hefty double-digit win. All right, so when I was on with Johnny and Prater today, they asked me to come up with a couple things. That's why I did the notes, not for the pregame show. But they asked me to come up with a couple areas where Boise State could still get better moving forward here if they want to try to go on a big run. And I mentioned the field goal percentage. They only shot 40.8% against Nevada in one, only shot barely over 40% against UNLV in one, 2 of their lower totals of the season. I think the shooting needs to get better, particularly you'd like to hit some more threes. And then for me, the turnovers. They had 14 turnovers against UNLV. They got 37 turnovers in their last 3 games. I know kind of was a fluke. Tyson had 6 turnovers. That doesn't typically happen. Pearson had some of those. But for me, stop turning the ball over on offense and start making more shots. It sounds easy, but if they could do both those things,
their offense, which is rated pretty high analytically, I think could still be even better.
It can be. I mean, you take a look at the percentages, especially in 14 turnovers, I wouldn't say is egregious. That's a couple more than what they're averaging. I think they're averaging around 11. So it wasn't an awful turnover game, but the shots just aren't going down. But what is nice about it, though, I was actually talking to one of the assistant coaches on the flight coming back, is that the offense is running really well. They're getting really, really good looks. You talk about the looks that they got against UNLV and then the looks that they got against Fresno. They could have beaten Fresno by 40 if they hit a good percentage from three, because they were just getting wide open look after wide open look. So the offense is there getting the looks. Hopefully just some more start going down.
Well, you didn't participate in the whiteout tonight, Abe? Come on.
I didn't know there was a whiteout.
Well,
does anybody here know there's a whiteout?
Most of the fans don't.
I mean, you're wearing black. He's wearing blue. He's got black on. They got orange on.
Most of the fans, looks like the students at least maybe recognize that it was a whiteout here, the 8 of them that are here. But, yeah, I also would say the turnover percentage on defense, Abe, is as good as the defense has been. One thing I noticed is they don't force a lot of turnovers, and that means they don't get a lot of, in my opinion, or they don't get a lot of steals in particular. And they don't get a lot of transition buckets either. I would like to see Boise State try to get some more steals. Maybe just at this point you're not going to. And then do what New Mexico does. Do what some of these teams do where you turn it into an easy layup at the other end. I mean, they don't get a ton of easy run-out type buckets. And so that's one other area I think defensively. Yeah, teams are missing shots. You're guarding better, but try to turn the defense into the offense a little more.
Well, and how you get those is if you have high pressure 1 and 2 guards and maybe a 3 guard that can really get after defensively. And I don't really know if the Broncos have that on the defensive end out at that 3-point line. You have some really good players that can play good team defense. But when you're talking about steals up on top, it's like a hard, more athletic deny of somebody of a pass or shooting a gap over a screen. And I don't really know if that's how the Broncos defense is built. You're built on, you've got some very, very solid interior defense, and your 3, 4, and 5 man can challenge without blocking a shot with just about anybody in the country. They are so good at going completely vertical and taking the contact into the body and affecting shots that way in the paint. So I'd like to see some more steals too. I don't know if this team is really built on getting steals outside that 3-point line.
I thought Omar Stanley actually did some nice things in that game, but got into foul trouble again. He just keeps kind of getting in his own way a little bit with some of the fouls. I feel like they want to play him more if he can just stay out there. What can Omar do, and what have you seen these last couple games? Because I feel like he's showing signs. He's shooting the 3 ball, which shows he has confidence. Like he just, like I said, the fouls are just really holding him back right now.
Yeah, when it comes to fouls, it's a lot of film because it's hard to really say when the game is going, this is what you did, and to try and get them to understand where they went on a screen.
And I will cut you off and say at least one of the fouls, he was covering for somebody else. That guy got beat off the dribble, and I think he fouled Thomas driving down the lane.
Yeah.
I remember there was at least one that wasn't his fault. I do remember that.
But a lot of times when you get into foul trouble, and I think Buchanan went through this too about 4 or 5 games ago, is there's a lot of film breakdown. So it's hard to make adjustments like that to not foul in game. But if you get it some time in between and you can sit down and look at 5, 6, 7 situations where maybe your footwork is off, or you tried to take a little bit more aggressive approach and you tried to poke the ball away and you got a cheap foul, those are the things that you can learn from. So hopefully he can stay out there, because this is maybe one of the best stretches that Omar Stanley has played in 3 games in a row. He's had some flashes like against Air Force, but then was a little MIA the games after that. So this 3-game stretch for Omar Stanley, I think, is about the best he's been this year.
They're down to 9 in the rotation. They've done some things. I mean, it's overall these 3-game winning streak. Like, do you like what you're seeing?
Love it. I love what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing from Buchanan. Andrew Meadow was being much more aggressive driving the ball and not just settling for threes, which I think happened a little bit more earlier in the season. Tyson Degenhardt is just becoming the most consistent player maybe in Boise State history, that you can just chalk him up for 15 to 17 and 8 to 10 rebounds. And Al Cardenas might be one of the most fun players to watch offensively and defensively that has been in the last few years. And we only get him for 1 year, but man, I'm glad he came.
Well, final thing, Abe, we said they can shoot the 3 ball well. They can score it for the first time in San Jose State Spartan history. They had 2 players go for 30 in their last game. I know it went double overtime, but Latrell Davis, 30. Josh Uduje continues to just be an absolute star, lighting it up. He is averaging almost 17 points a game. Will McClendon's over 12 points a game. I mentioned Latrell Davis. Like, they got some guys. I mean, what are the keys to a win tonight? I mean, for me personally, don't let them get hot. Don't let them get any confidence. But this is a team that if you let them get going, they can, and this could be a closer game than maybe many expected to be.
Yeah, and it's all about guarding the three-point line. And what I do like about our odds against San Jose State, they have a pretty good big guy in Viola, but I don't think that there's a guy like we saw at UNLV who can really kind of manhandle our two guys inside. So you can really pressure out at the three-point line and trust your big guys that if they do toss it in there for a post-up, they're going to be just fine going one-on-one. So pressure that three-point line because like you just rattled off the guys who can score. I mean, they aren't getting wins because they're stopping people. They're just getting wins because they're flat out scoring more points in maybe a 90 to 85 shootout.
Well, it should be fun. Appreciate it. We'll be listening to you and the great Bob Beeler over on 670 KBR. The game is on Fox Sports 1. You know the drill by now. Line it up, turn down the sound, and turn on these guys. We appreciate it, Abe. If it's a quick game, we'll get you post-game. If not, you don't need to stick around on a Friday night. We'll see how it goes tonight, but get home to your family if you need to, and then we'll do it again in San Diego in 8 days. Appreciate it, Abe.
Good, man.
There he is, Abe Jackson. Appreciate him for jumping on, as usual, on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Plenty more to come. We want your score predictions. We want your thoughts. The chat's a little light right now. Get some comments. Who's your player of the game? Where are you watching from? What are your thoughts on this team, this win streak? What do you got for us? Come on. Let's get this chat filled up with some comments and thoughts here, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, want to thank a couple sponsors that are making this show free of charge for you to watch on YouTube here. Of course, our title sponsor is RoePaint.com, R-O-E Paint.com. Andy Rowe and Company. Whether it's their world-famous concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs, hit up our title sponsor at RoePaint.com. Hey, Taco Bell. Rain's family sent me a picture. They're going to Taco Bell, or they're at Taco Bell on the way down to the game tonight. Perfect spot to take the family for a quick meal, a cheap meal, a delicious meal, whether it's that $7 Lux Cravings box, the Cantina bowls, all their great options. Something to suit everybody's taste buds at Taco Bell. Get more information. You can apply for a job if you want also one of the dozen-plus local Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations at TacoBellWorks.com. I mentioned Tyson Degenhart, ICCU.com. Tyson Degenhart, he knows all about card control on and off the court with ICCU. There's a branch on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Visit their website today and make the switch. You may think you like your bank. You'll like it more when you make the switch over to Idaho Central Credit Union. And Jackson's, don't forget, when they score 70 points, you get a hot dog and a soda for $2 at Jackson's 2 days later. They even throw in a banana when you use the Let's Go Rewards app. So Jackson's, they'll be the sponsor of our post-game show. $2 for a fountain drink and a hot dog when they can score 70 points. And that's courtesy of our post-game show, Jackson's. Make sure to join us on the post-game show, the Jackson's post-game show, shortly after the game, where I think if all goes well, we'll have this man opening up the show again. It worked pretty well the other night. We can just get him to look at the camera once or twice. Our man Nathan Carroll joins us again. We don't have Abe Jackson here, so I'm going to lower it down for us short guys. Nathan, appreciate you on a Friday night, man. Wanting to get out of the house and come watch some basketball and talk about it here on BNN. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Really looking forward to this one. I mean, only so many games left in this season, so you know, if you're a fan, got to get down here, get out, and enjoy this team while you get the chance.
Again, give us your score predictions, your thoughts, all that good stuff on the ICCU YouTube chat. We'll see where the furthest person away is watching from. We'll see what the most outlandish score prediction is here. But this 3-game winning streak, Nathan Carroll, what do you like most? What do you like? You know, what do you not like? Just these 3 games, if you're an optimistic Boise State fan and you want to go, okay, I know they've played 3 not great teams, but if you're trying to find positives that could keep moving here as the schedule gets tougher, what do you like about what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I think the answer that Leon's going to give, and I would agree with him, is the defense, right? The defense has absolutely stepped up these past 3 games, inserting R.J. Keene into the lineup, giving Javen Buchanan, upwards of 30 minutes, has really helped make this defense one of the top groups in the Mountain West as of late. So I think that's one thing that you really like during this 3-game win streak. I think the other fact is just that the lineup's more solidified, right? Leon's got his clear 9, and beyond that, he's got his clear 5. You saw it in that UNLV game. 5 guys take up almost the entirety of the minutes. 4 other guys get 10 minutes or less. at this point, you feel like this team is starting to have an identity. You know who you're going to get night in, night out. So those are two things that you love to see. And then, the offense has taken a little step back, but still number one in the Mountain West since conference play started. So I think you still feel good about the offense. The defense is coming along. You start to feel good about who's playing night to night. I think if you're a Boise State fan, there's definitely a lot to be optimistic about.
Chad starts us off tonight. He's got 77-62 for his score prediction. That would barely cover the spread, isn't it? 14.5.
14.5 last I saw, yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't. Obviously myself don't bet on Boise State games, but I if I was giving advice on tonight's, I would either stay away or I would personally maybe lean San Jose State. There's a lot. Maybe I'm dead wrong and they win by 30, and that'd be great. But I just fourth game in 10 days. It's a sneaky, decent San Jose game. It would be very easy for Boise State, knowing they have the bye week and probably a couple off days, to maybe kind of just go through the motions tonight a little bit. I'm not worried about them losing the game, but I see them winning this one by like anywhere from 8 to 12. They'll be around the cover. I just don't love them to for sure cover tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw it at the game in San Jose, right? Comes down to the wire. Ultimately, a Javen Buchanan block shot away from potentially sending that game to overtime. So certainly not an opponent that you just walk in here and expect Boise State to roll over, right? In the Mountain West, there's some tiers, and there's a couple teams that you just expect Boise State to roll over. San Jose, not one of them by any stretch. Again, I would stay away for a lot of similar reasons, but I think there is a world where Boise State just wins this thing by 25 or 30. And I think that comes down to San Jose likes to live and die by the three. We're the number one three-point shooting team in the Mountain West. If some of this defensive performance that Boise State started to put together, if they bring that tonight, and if San Jose's under 60, I think there is a world where, Boise's in the high 80s and they can cover that. But yeah, I'm along the same lines as you. I would tend to stay away. And I know Ken Palm's got this as a 13-point game. So the fact that Vegas even getting a little bit of extra credit to Boise State, the analytics at least would say San Jose might be the way to lead in that one.
And you mentioned the three-point defense. That has been better the last three games. Nevada shot 33% from three. Fresno only 23.5%. And then UNLV 1 for 16. And I know some of that's them just missing shots, but some of that is contesting and making things a little tougher. And so the three-point defense has been good the last three games. Candid Trader calling this a must-win game tonight for Boise State. I mean, I think that's pretty clear for a lot of reasons.
I would say it's a can't lose, right? This is it's not necessarily a game that a win is going to boost your resume, but a loss is going to kill it. So definitely can't lose.
Well on our way to an at-large bid. James is feeling pretty confident about an at-large. He must be the one bracketologist that has them in.
the one guy, yeah, I saw that this week.
Phil focused in on that because we saw Joe Lenardi move them into, I don't even know if you can call it the bubble yet, but I mean, if you're on Joe Lenardi's sheet, I guess you're approaching the bubble. He's got them basically as his 12th team out. And then there was somebody else that had, I mean, they're starting to at least get back in the peripheral of the conversation.
Yeah, these guys who do these extended bubbles out to 10, 15 teams, you're starting to see Boise State pop up in that 10 to 15 range. And then for those of you who aren't familiar, there's this thing called the bracket matrix. So all of these guys who do mid-year bracket updates, the bracket matrix compiles all of them and builds a list out for them. 93 brackets in the bracket matrix right now.
And they rank them every year to see how they do and stuff.
Yes. So over the past 5 years, I think there's 180 guys who have done this. So the number 56th rated bracketologist dropped a release on Tuesday, I want to say, and had at Boise State as his last team in, or it might have been his second to last team in. So look, the resume's starting to come together a little bit. With UNLV, that's a quad 2 win, which is shocking to say out of a team that's below 500 that counts as quad 2. But even, you talked about this 3-game win streak against 3 teams that haven't been super impressive. Nevada, as of right now, is a quad 1 win when they go to Lawler in a couple of weeks here. So, that's a win that there's something to build on. The resume's starting to build a little bit. There's a long ways to go before Boise State's legitimately in at-large talks. But we said it after the CSU loss. Boise State needed to go 4-0 and go get a win at Viejas and see how you feel after that. They've done three in a row so far. They're 3-0 in this stretch. Get a win tonight, and now you've got a week off until you get San Diego State next Saturday. You can start to feel optimistic.
James has 83-57. Michelle saying, let's go Broncos. Keep Tyson, Al, and Javen on the floor. That's a pretty good pretty good thought there.
Yeah,
Keep your best players on the floor as much as you can.
Yeah, that's good advice right there.
70-60 from Jennifer. Candid Traders watching from Twin Falls. Tyson needs to take the game over. Stick to fundamental defense. Hard nose, no cheap fouls. Michelle is saying 77-62. We got Sarah going with Tyson as her player of the game tonight. Candid Trader wants some swagger on the defense. Look, some swagger, lock in on defense, and DM up.
If anybody plays with swagger, it's RJ Keene, right? Maybe not swagger, but if anyone plays with intensity, right? You know, this team isn't one that has a lot of flash, not a lot of swagger to them, but the intensity's been there as of late with RJ in the lineup. I think you'll get that out of the defense, maybe not swagger.
Thanks, BNN, for the pre- and post-game stuff. Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. We'll be back right away for the post-game show after the game. I know it's going to be a Friday night at 9 o'clock or whatever, but stick with us. Love your full post-game coverage. Our resident NHL guy here, Zach Covert, asked if you would trade Connor McDavid to the KHL for Nail Yakupov if it meant we could make the Sweet 16.
No, absolutely not. Sorry, guys. I'm an Oilers fan through and through, lived in Edmonton. Actually, funny enough, lived a couple blocks over from Nail Yakupov when he was there. No, Connor's our hero up in Edmonton. I would need like a national title for Boise State before we get into the Connor McDavid trade talk.
Yeah, he had the pass to Draisaitl the other night to beat my Blues in overtime. I wasn't too happy about that one. But 80-74 is Candid's prediction. Mr. Dick, appreciate you for watching. He's got 82-67, watching from Lebanon, Tennessee. Where's the mustache? Matt Lamb wants to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to grow it out. You know, I had a couple people make comment of it that I need to grow it back out. So we'll see if that happens. But for now, we're clean shaven.
Bronco Nation update says just keep winning.
Yeah.
Couple other comments rolling in. We'll get to those momentarily. I do need to thank a couple more sponsors, but you got a question for Nathan and I, you got a thought, a score prediction, all that good stuff. Get it in, and we'll get to that here on the Bronco Nation News Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, which is brought to you for free here on YouTube. Thanks to some of our great sponsors, including Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Whether it's a sauna, whether it's a spa, whether it's a pool table, dartboard, they got you covered online. View their full inventory at thespateam.com. Hey, you know who else has you covered? Literally the Blue and Orange Store. The blueandorangestore.com, whether it's jerseys, caps, sweatshirts, jackets, you name it. The best Boise State gear in town at the best prices. Wear what the players and coaches wear. Get it at the Blue and Orange Store. Online, the blueandorangestore.com. You can get it ordered anywhere in the world or right there in the Boise Town Square Mall, the second floor next to Pro Image. Hey, if you see Latrell Caples driving around a new Ford Ranger or an F-150 for Cage Casey, they got some new NIL deals, as does Roger Carrion as well. Matt Lauder is renewed. So Lithia Ford of Boise is returning the favor. There's Carl Nicolason, by the way, from Taco Bell. We appreciate Taco Bell and the Nicolason family, as always. But Lithia Ford of Boise, you can view them online, lithiafordboise.com. Their full inventory of vehicles. The snow today, it was so nice to have that F-150 with the four-wheel drive from Lithia Ford. So that next car truck purchase, return the favor at Lithia Ford of Boise. Yeah, you never know who you're going to see courtside. Just saw the Nicolasons come by. You know you're going to see Matt Bauscher courtside tonight. Can't wait for him to have his first run-in with High Knees Anderson early in the game, and we'll get to that news here in a second as well. But Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, and no home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. So I know everybody has multiple friends, family members that are realtors, but if you want someone that's going to fight for you and give you the best prices, the best deal, whether you're buying or selling, do it at Bauscher Real Estate online at BauscherRealEstate.com, and our friend at Ridley's Family Markets. Again, we want your score predictions, your comments, your thoughts, your questions for Nathan. Ridley's Family Markets, shopRidleys.com. Locations across the state of Idaho, the surrounding states. Kuna, love that location. Magic Valley, Treasure Valley, all kinds of opportunities for our friends at Ridley's Family Markets, and you can just download that Skip app, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line at shopridleys.com. All right, we're back here. The Raines family's in the house tonight, so they're ready to go, although I just noticed one of my kids must have already lost his hat. They're not even wearing white tonight. They've kind of put a late notice out on the whiteout tonight. I don't know if you saw that, Nathan, but some folks are partaking, but not exactly a full whiteout.
Yeah, I incidentally, I guess, am participating in the whiteout with the black and white polo here. Crowd starting to come in. 36 minutes left. A lot of blue tonight. So
no, there's a lot of orange right now.
Well,
empty seats.
There's still 36 minutes to go. There's time. It's a Friday. People trying to come in after work. I'll give Bronco Nation a little bit of a pass for the time being.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know it's San Jose State, but this place needs to be rocking tonight. Come on. They just won at UNLV on Tuesday. You'd think that'd give them a little bit of extra juice for some fans that want to pack the place tonight. Come on.
Not going to get another home game for what is it, 11 days, right? Because it's Nevada. No, that's not right. That's San Jose's schedule. Yeah, but New Mexico, I think it is. So, yeah, you should be down here supporting the team. And by the way, I know it is San Jose State. How exciting is the Pac-12 going to be when instead of this game, it's Gonzaga, or instead of this game, it's another Utah State game.
Even Oregon State, Washington State.
Yeah.
And who else are they going to add? If it's Memphis or I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah, at the very least, if it's not Memphis, I think there's a good chance you're looking at like a UNLV or a Nevada. But at the very least, you're not going to have the Air Forces, the Wyomings, the San Jose States. I don't think those teams are getting invites. So, I think there's some excitement if you're a Boise State basketball fan, knowing what the future of the program is going to be able to bring in here to ExtraMile Arena on a consistent basis.
All right, first of all, Greg Myers on my way from Caldwell. All right, Greg, drive safe. We'll see you. Chase Love's watching from Pocatello. Just had to go to the fire drill for his dorms at Idaho State. All right, be safe there, Chase. TNT, appreciate the kind words, putting on a well-produced pregame show. Love the content. 75-63 is the prediction there for PDW. But Jennifer, always appreciate Jennifer for watching. She's got Keene as her player of the game tonight. And you're an analytics guy. You're a stat guy. I know you look at the PFF football type stuff. You look at the basketball stuff as well. But a guy like R.J. Keene, in this day and age in college basketball, 2 times in the last 3 games, has had 10 rebounds and not scored a single point.
Yeah.
How rare is that? What do you think of Leon giving a guy like R.J. Keene, almost 30 minutes a game? Where are you at on that? And obviously it's a very unique situation, but it's paying off right now.
Yeah, he was when he did it in that first Nevada game, he was the first Leon Rice era player to have 10 rebounds, no points, and I think over 25 minutes in a game.
And not taking a shot, I think.
And in that one, he didn't take a shot, yeah. And then he against UNLV, he did the same thing where he played 25-plus minutes, 10 rebounds, no points. Look, he's the glue guy that this team needs. They brought in a lot of players who are very capable on ball. Alvaro Cardenas obviously is a maestro running the offense. Tyson Dagenhart, a capable scorer. Andrew Meadow is a fantastic attacking closeouts and getting to the rim. And with Jaden Buchanan in there, you've got somebody who can create their own shots. So you don't need a fifth guy out there who's going to be a shot chucker or be a guy who needs the ball in his hands to impact the game. R.J. Keene is perfect for what this roster and what this starting lineup has become. So, I don't think it's by coincidence that when he gets inserted into the starting lineup, all of a sudden they start forcing more turnovers. The defense is better. They start making a lot of positive adjustments in areas where they needed positive adjustments. So, is it very standard? Is it very traditional to have an R.J. Keene type player on a tournament team, on a high-level basketball team? Not necessarily, but there's precedent for it before. He's not this man, but there's some similarities to draw with him and the role that Draymond Green played on a lot of those Warriors championship teams. How many times? Draymond Green, I think, is the only player in NBA history to have a triple-double without points. If I was going to tell you somebody could do that in college basketball, I think it would be R.J. Keene, right? It wouldn't shock you if he came out and had 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 8 steals or something like that. So, yeah, his impact has been tremendous on this team. I don't know about player of the game just because I don't know about him scoring consistently enough to earn that title. I would agree with a couple of our chatters here. I'd go the direction of Tyson Dagenhart. I think it's a really good matchup for him. He had 26 in the game in San Jose. San Jose just doesn't play with a lot of size, and so a guy like Tyson Dagenhart, he's going to be able to get to the rim. He's going to be able to score buckets in bunches.
Bronco Nation update saying Dennis Rodman type numbers. No doubt about that. Congrats to Tyson for being Karl Malone Award. That is a nice honor there as well. Greg's going 78-63. Now, our friend John Mallory, who unfortunately had something pop up and I don't think is going to make it tonight. We were joking this morning on the pregame show about Peanut Carmichael. And when he gets going here moving forward, Johnny suggested, or maybe it was Jay Tust, actually. I forget. One of them suggested they get a section of the crowd here called the Peanut Gallery.
Ooh.
For Pearson Carmichael, who goes by Peanut. And maybe, next year when he gets rolling as one of the main players. But, and they have the judges' quarters, I think, right, for Aaron Judge. And all these guys dress up wearing judges' stuff for him. Maybe you get a little section here. You call it the Peanut Gallery. And we were talking about how he needs to get an NIL, or they need to pass out some sort of like those warm nuts they have around here, the pecans, the almonds that are around here. Our friend Michael, I almost said somebody, but one of the ushers here, Michael Booten, came by earlier and actually brought some nuts here for Johnny. And then Johnny is unfortunately not here tonight, but it was his idea, and they brought him. They sell these, I don't know of a better term, warm nuts here at the game. And the Peanut Gallery could begin, I guess, here with the nuts tonight. But so, Johnny, I'll save these for you, or maybe I'll buy you some next game. But Pearson Carmichael had quite the game the other night. Speaking of Peanut, couple turnovers, hit a couple threes, and he talked to the media yesterday, and I thought was a real stand-up guy in what he said, and we'll see if he can bounce back tonight.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Boise State, they get the win. It ended up not affecting a game. I think you said it was Leon in post-game that said that after that fourth turnover, said a prayer on the bench that wouldn't be the reason that they lost. People are going to remember the turnovers, and look, that's certainly fair. Those are bad turnovers, especially when they're 3 and 4 possessions. But Pearson Carmichael was also 2 of 4 from 3, and that's something that this team desperately needs. He shows a lot of energy and effort as a rebounder, which Leon's obviously talked about plenty. It's growing pains, right? And the fact that he's out there getting these minutes, it's going to benefit the future of the program. Yeah, definitely quite the game, though. And, I tweeted out, like, I think you got to get Pearson out of there in that moment, which Leon did, because at the end of the day, once it gets close and you need to get the wins, but still for him to be able to get, 10 quality minutes on the road at UNLV, big for the future of the program. And if he keeps knocking down threes, that's big for the present of the program as well.
Yep. Gerald saying Peanut's going to break out tonight. 12 points. Some threes. I also saw Chad here polling for Omar Stanley for player of the game. I was talking about this with Abe earlier. He only got 9 minutes, I think, because of foul trouble, but he actually had a pretty decent, efficiency rate and stats in that. If you can just keep him on the court here and not a foul trouble, I feel like there's been some positive signs for him the last couple of games.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought that he had a fairly good game against UNLV on the offensive end, was aggressive, getting to his spots, even knocked down a 3 in that game. So there's been some really positive signs of life for Omar Stanley, but he only gets 9 minutes because he has 4 fouls. And that's really been the issue all year. Go back to the beginning of the season and look through some of those box scores. The issue wasn't that he was having these 0 for 8 games. The issue was that he was only getting 18 minutes because he was just racking up fouls like nobody's business, And I was joking with a friend that sometimes it's Omar being over-aggressive, trying to create plays defensively, but I feel like he's on the wrong side of every 50-50 call that's out there. I think we've talked about it plenty, but the best version of this team needs Omar Stanley in the lineup. I think UNLV kind of exemplified why that is. Jeremiah Cherry was phenomenal in Boise State.
Bear Cherry, man, he was a load down there.
Yeah, I think I'm shocked he only got 11 shots up. If I'm UNLV's
only
coach,
3 in the second half.
It was I'll be kind and say a questionable coaching decision to only get him 3 shots in the second half because Boise State didn't have answers. Boise State played Tyson Dagenhart at the 5 for about 20 minutes of that game, and every time they went to Cherry inside with Tyson at the 5, it worked because he's 280 pounds. He's a big boy, But when they had Ugbo or Stanley in there, they were able to hold up a little bit and force him to kick out. I think it exemplified why this team needs Omar Stanley. There's some really good athletic, long, tall bigs in this conference. You're going to see them at San Diego State. You're going to see them against New Mexico. I don't know if this team can hold up with Tyson at the 5 for 25 minutes when you're playing, Nelly Jr. Joseph, for example. So I think the best version of this team, Omar needs to get back and be playing well. And there's signs of life. Just got to stay out of foul trouble. Got to stay out of foul trouble so that he can actually be out there on the floor impacting the game.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We'll take a few more comments. If you got a thought, score prediction, player of the game, thought, comment, let us know. We'll get to it here shortly. A couple more sponsors we want to thank for making this show free of charge on YouTube. Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. If you want to get into the trucking industry, transcomservice.com. Every step of the way, they can help you with the DOT overweight permits and things. Transcomservice.com. Lean Feast Meridian. I had a garlic parm chicken for lunch today. LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out online. LeanFeastMeridian.com. 10,000 plus combinations. Fully customizable. You choose how much you want, what you want. All the different diets and things can be accommodated with them at Lean Feast. They're feeding the football team. They're feeding the basketball team. They can feed you, too. They deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley, and it's good for 5 days in the refrigerator. Check them out online. Check them out online at leanfeastmeridian.com. I'm literally talking. Let me borrow your headset for a second. I'm literally talking about Signature Roofing right now, and our man John Watts from Signature Roofing. I'm giving you the headset for a minute here. Put on the headset here. All right, so I'm literally talking about Signature Roofing, and I see you walking by.
Oh, awesome!
How you doing, Mr. Watts?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I saw your owner on the sledding hill today.
Oh, you did?
And let me tell you. Let me get this off the screen here so people can see it. Where are we at here? There we go. All right. I got the wrong camera on here. Oh, there, we're down here. Where are you at? There he is. All right, there's our man, John Watts with Signature Roofing right there. There he is. But yeah, me and your owner were out there going head-to-head racing in the sleds today.
I look like I'm in prison.
Yeah, you do, actually. You're not in prison. But did he give everybody a snow day today or just himself?
I think just himself.
Okay.
I was working from home, but
okay. All right. Tell us, give us a 30-second spiel here for Signature Roofing and your services, and if folks are interested in a new roof or all the things you guys can provide.
Signature Roofing, we've been around for a long time, decades. Joel, the owner, has been putting roofs on since right out of high school, and so he started this thing a long time ago. We can do any re-roof project you got. We can do all kinds of roofing materials, from metal to shingles to tile, pretty much everything. Flat roofs, sloped roofs, you name it, we do it.
And you're just good people too. You
Good
guys
people.
like to have
Great
fun.
people, yeah.
First time I met you guys with, or I guess first time Tyson came here, RJ came in to meet you guys. You were joking with him in 5 seconds. I mean, you guys seem to have a good work environment.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Well, we're loving our roof. We appreciate you guys in the partnership. And I know RJ is going to be coming back on with us and has some more content and stuff. But what are you feeling? Big blowout today or what?
I think it's very possible. I hope so. If we can shoot the rock tonight, we'll put up a big win.
And RJ Keene, I mean, for a guy that doesn't score, it's still fun and it's awesome watching him play. Oh,
that dude hustles up and down the floor. It's crazy. He just needs some confidence in his shot. I know he can shoot it. I've seen him shoot it.
Yes.
I want to see him throw it down, actually. He just needs to take it to the rack and throw it down.
Maybe tonight's the night, man.
I hope so.
Appreciate you, Mr. Watts. Signature Roofing.
Man.
Check them out online.
We'll see ya.
MySignatureRoofing.com. We appreciate it, man.
All right, go Broncos.
There he is. We appreciate Signature Roofing for their support of Bronco Nation News and thank them for their support and coming on the show there. And, yeah, we love Signature Roofing. And I know they love RJ Keene. They got some deals with him. And we appreciate Signature Roofing at mysignatureroofing.com. You're literally never know. You get it's a great thing about Bronco Nation News, Nathan. It's like all of our sponsors are huge fans and come to all the games. And so you literally see like another sponsor, another person walking by, whether it's Stan Nicolason Taco Bell or Bouscher or the Ridleys, or you just go down the line, Kelly Christensen out at Timberstone Golf Course, and Jim Sturk with Lithia, and I know I'm forgetting people. Oh, you're not on. There you go. There you go. But no matter who walks by, you're going to see somebody else in the BNN family, and we appreciate everybody. But 8170 is what Denise had. John Watts, prison mode. Yeah, he was looked like he was in prison with the bars right here. Let's see what we got here. Watching from Indiana. This is David Buchanan's mother, I believe, watching from Indiana. So, and yes, San Jose State is wearing black tonight. Let's see what else we got here. One game at a time. The future is bright. But speaking of David Buchanan, it's been fun. I know it's this weird thing where he's not starting. You mentioned it being unconventional what they're doing with Ugbo. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's even weirder what they're, would not have, with Keene. Yeah. What they're doing with Keene is unconventional. What they're doing with Ugbo and having Buchanan come off the bench, it's kind of odd, but he's still getting his 30 minutes, and he's certainly making an impact here.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of, theories for why that is. Only Leon himself knows it at this point, I think. But, yeah, Buchanan's been fantastic. I think his emergence as the clear third star on this team is really what's elevated this program over the last 5 or 6 games, even though there's some losses in there. Once Buchanan became a consistent part of the offensive game plan is when this team started to take off. And against San Jose State, the first time, one of his better games on the year. I think he had, I've got the box score pulled up here, finished with 10 points in that one, and of course had the game-sealing block in that game. So, Jaden Buchanan, I expect another big night from him. He's been phenomenal, and one of the guys that you feel like not just for this year, but for the future of the program, going to be really bright with Jaden Buchanan around.
Mama says it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
That's right.
And no doubt. I mean, as long as he's getting his 30 minutes, and as long as he's playing the last 3, we don't really care about the first 3.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Need Ugbo out there to go win some tip-offs, right? That's the thought process here, maybe. But yeah, he's been phenomenal.
Ben has got 88 to 64. That'd be a nice. They would certainly. The metrics are kind of hovering. They're okay, but man, you would certainly you'd take the 30-point win tonight if you could get it.
Yeah, certainly. With the metrics, big wins against teams like San Jose are going to help. But if Boise State gets the wins they need down the stretch, beats New Mexico, beats San Diego State, takes care of Nevada on the road, the predictive metrics are going to fix themselves. So if it's by 8, if it's by 15, if it's by 25, just get the win tonight, and you feel good about it.
All right, so one of the big storylines that's big for me, I think. I like referees. I don't know why, but the gentleman out there stretching right there he is getting the knees ready. Jeffrey Anderson, he's over on the right side of your screen. He's stretching. He's the #1 ranked referee at KenPom, and they rank these referee stats based on the quality of games, and they can say, okay, if you're getting assigned big games, you must be a better official. It's not necessarily the calls themselves. Right. Kind of there's a formula, but the #1 ranked ref in America, Jeffrey Anderson, making what I believe is his first ever appearance, at least for a regular season game in ExtraMile Arena. He is world famous because he's known as high knees ref. He is the guy that likes to have the high knees when he's reffing, gets demonstrative with some of his calls, and just a couple nights ago actually got caught in the middle of a play on a turnover and was playing defense in the middle of a play. But he's a Big Ten ref, and the new officiating consortium this year it got screwed up when they ended the Pac-12. So a lot of the Big Ten refs are now also with the Mountain West, and I'm guessing he must be doing I saw UCLA's home tomorrow, and Washington is home tomorrow. So maybe he's going to Seattle tomorrow, but there's only 7 games. Look, he's getting the knees. He's getting them going right now. But there's only 7 games in America tonight, only 2 west of the Mississippi. He was at Columbus, Ohio last night doing the Ohio State game. I'm not sure what the route is to get from Columbus, Ohio to Boise in time for tonight's game. But Jeffrey High Knees Anderson is the #1 ranked official in the country, is gracing us with his presence tonight here in Boise.
Yeah, and I think unofficially he's got the most Twitter followers of any referee in the nation,
really
too.
His account.
Yeah.
Hey, look who else is here. Craig Thompson.
Look at that.
It's former Mountain West Commissioner Craig Thompson. It's hugging High Knees Anderson right now.
Look at that. I wonder how he feels coming to a Boise State game, given Boise State's future, whether his allegiances, still lie with the Mountain West if he's going to be rooting for San Jose State in this one or what. But yeah, I mean, you said it. There's 7 games in all of college basketball tonight. There's going to be eyeballs on this one from home. People looking through. It's 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Maybe you're 9 o'clock Eastern Time, just looking for one more game to finish off your nightcap, and this is going to be the one. So, I think for the sake of television eyes, it'd be a great night for Alvaro Cardenas to put on some of those highlight plays, like what we saw in Boise State's last home game. Maybe fire up some of the people out there just looking for some college basketball.
Yeah, and Randy McCall, also one of the officials. He's a fan favorite here. He had the non-call against Abu Kijab, I think it was, on Super Bowl Sunday a couple years ago. Do you remember that? The game they lost against Colorado State when there should have been a foul call, and it was an inadvertent whistle or something, and he didn't make the call there. And then he's had a couple interesting calls against Boise State in the past. And then Mike Littlewood, the former BYU baseball coach. Very odd that a former, rival of Boise State, BYU, can have one of their former coaches be a referee. At
least he's not currently employed by BYU, right?
No, he's not currently employed by BYU. But Randy McCall, Mike Littlewood, and Jeffrey High-Knees Anderson in the house. So I am, I don't know, when I heard a little birdie inform me this afternoon when I saw the sheet that High-Knees Anderson may be in Boise today, look at this. You got, hey, what's up, Kent? They're for Jaden Finch, his dad, just gave us some more, and these are warmer, too.
Yeah, so there we go.
There you go.
Got some fresh ones.
We appreciate Mr. Finch for providing us. There's, I told you never know who you're going to see. Brad Bedell, Kent Riddle in the house as well. And it's a who's who tonight.
That's right. Some of the orange starting to fill in. It's not San Diego State levels, but people are showing up. And, it seems like every Boise State sponsor and affiliate's here tonight. You love to see it. You love to see the people who are engaged in the community.
Chiefs. Wow, look at that. All right. Our man, Jeff just showed us his Chiefs and Eagles ring. That's pretty impressive there. Student section's filling in a little bit. 15 minutes till tip. It's a little bigger than it was last game.
And it's students tonight.
And they are actually students.
They or at least appear to be students.
For the most part, yes.
Yeah. I know last game, it must have been Parents' Weekend for a program or something, but the median age of the student section was like 38 last game. It's looking a lot more like a college crowd this time around. Now, it's good to see.
Jason Y says, at the game over your right shoulder in the balcony. So, Jason, I don't know where you're at. Oh, there he is, way up there. All right, appreciate it. He's literally over our shoulder in the balcony, watching from up there. Don't throw anything at us tonight, Jason, all right? We appreciate him. Appreciate you guys for watching. Ben Watland, not excited to have not Littlewood in the house tonight. But Nate says, got to get 2 of 3 against New Mexico, Utah State, and San Diego State. Really, you need 3 of 3.
Yeah, I think 2 of 3 is optimistic. Look, there's some people out there who say 2 of 3 might work. I know Torvik, Bart Torvik's team pass says 15-5 will get you there. A couple other bracket guys have said 15-5 puts you right there in the mix. Look, the way that the committee has treated the Mountain West in recent years on Selection Sunday, I think Boise State needs to win out the rest of the regular season if they want to be looking at an at-large bid, at least safely at an at-large bid. If you only get 2 of 3, I think it's going to be a very nervy Selection Sunday for Boise State fans, and probably best-case scenario is another game in Dayton, which I think all Boise State fans want to avoid ever having to watch their Broncos play in Dayton ever again. Nothing good has come in Dayton, Ohio when it comes to Boise State basketball.
Well, it should be a fun one tonight. What are your final thoughts here, Nathan Carroll, as they get ready for the national anthem, and we got to jump off here shortly?
Yeah, I think the Broncos win. I think they take care of business with an 8-day break after this one. I think they do a good enough job of just being locked in and get the win. They're the more talented team. Like I said, Tyson Dagenhart, I think, is your MVP. I think when we do the postgame show, we're talking about a 25-point-plus performance out of him, leading the way. No lean on the spread, but I think Broncos get the win tonight.
All right, we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it. Appreciate all you guys for your thoughts, for watching, for your comments. It's been fun, and you just watched a 54-minute show free of charge on YouTube. So please support the sponsors, folks. Go hit up the sponsors. Please subscribe if you can at BroncoNationNews.com. Nathan, I think if you're feeling good, we'll have you kick off the post-game show again.
Yeah.
Friday night, try to get it going as soon as we can and not have to be here all night on a Friday night. But Boise State looking for 4 wins in a row. Good opportunity, a nice crowd piling in. Should be fun here at ExtraMile Arena. Enjoy the game, folks, and then come on back afterwards. We appreciate all you guys for your comments, your thoughts. It means a lot to us that you're supporting BNN the way you do, and you make part of your game day tradition the pregame and the postgame shows with us here at BNN. So tell your friends, enjoy the game, and if you're at the game, turn on your YouTube on the way home, or if get home and flip us on. But we'll be live probably 10 to 15 minutes after the game ends. Interviews, highlights, all kinds of great stuff. We appreciate you guys. They're starting the national anthem. We got to get off here. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you on the postgame show. Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out, lithiafordboise.com. Boise State, San Jose State coming up in 10 minutes. We'll talk to you on the postgame show.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RovePaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timber